Before the headlines, he was known as Jin Kid, a TikTok comedian with millions of views and a perfect life on camera. Every argument, every apology, every moment of control, all recorded, edited, and uploaded like a highlight reel. But in October 2021, the videos stopped. Police were called to a high-rise apartment in San Diego. Inside, they found his wife, Aina, and her friend, shot multiple times. Within hours, detectives realized they already had hours of evidence, filmed by the suspect himself. This wasn't a story discovered online. It was a story that unfolded online, a social feed becoming a timeline of destruction, one upload at a time. Before he was a headline, Ali Abulaban was a voice people laughed with. Online, he called himself Jin Kid, a TikTok creator known for celebrity impressions and sketch comedy. His clips played in living rooms across America, fast cuts, heavy filters. A man constantly performing happiness. In reality, the apartment behind those videos was filled with arguments. Neighbors told police they could hear shouting through the walls. Then silence, then music restarting for another take. Aina Abulaban, his wife, had asked him to move out in early October 2021. Friends said she wanted distance from the character he became online. He didn't leave quietly. Instead, he moved into a hotel across the street and secretly installed a listening app on Aina's tablet. Detectives later confirmed he could hear conversations in real time, a digital wiretap built from insecurity. During those 10 days apart, he posted upbeat TikToks, smiling to camera, quoting comedy lines while surveillance ran in the background. Every like became proof to him that he was still in control. Court records show that on October 21, 2021, the app picked up laughter inside Aina's apartment. Ali drove there immediately. What happened next would end 2 lives and expose how a public persona can hide private collapse. The illusion of contentment had become its own evidence. When investigators later scrolled through his phone, they found drafts of unreleased skits, captions half-written, the last attempts of a man still editing his image while his life unraveled off-screen. October 21, 2021, at 2:25 p.m., the listening app on Aina's tablet went live again. In the recording, later recovered by detectives, a male voice can be heard visiting the apartment. Casual, unaware, then laughter. Ali Abulaban was sitting in his car across the street, listening through his phone. According to GPS logs, he drove toward the building within 3 minutes. Security footage from the Spire San Diego apartments shows him entering the lobby at 2:30 p.m. He was wearing a baseball cap, a black hoodie, and carrying a small handgun registered to him since 2020. No one recognized him. He took the elevator to the 35th floor. Neighbors later reported hearing 3 loud bangs, then footsteps running down the hall. By 2:41 p.m., a maintenance worker called 911. Police arrived minutes later to find 2 victims, Aina Abulaban, 28, and her friend Raymond Ray Chappell, 29. Both had been shot at close range. Detectives traced Ali's phone signal south along I-5. At 3:12 p.m., he called his mother and confessed. She told him to go to the police. At 4 p.m., officers arrested him near the Pacific Highway exit. His daughter was in the car. When detectives searched his hotel room, they found his laptop open to TikTok. Studio, an unfinished draft saved hours earlier. The caption box read, "Sometimes the villain was just the storyteller." That file became Exhibit 42, proof that even after the crime he was still editing, still trying to frame the narrative for investigators. It was chilling not because of what he filmed, but because he filmed everything else. After his arrest, detectives brought Ali Abulaban into the downtown San Diego police headquarters. The interrogation room camera began recording at 5:05 p.m. He sat quietly, head down, elbows on the table, when detectives entered. He didn't ask for a lawyer. He asked if they'd seen his TikTok page. For the first 20 minutes, he talked about followers, sponsorships, and editing schedules. Then he shifted slowly to the argument. He said he believed Anna was laughing at him, that she was betraying the story. When detectives pressed him on what happened inside the apartment, he said, "I saw them together. I lost control. It was like watching a movie, only I couldn't stop it." The lead investigator later described his tone as detached, rehearsed like he was performing regret. Forensic teams analyzed his devices that same night. On his phone, deleted voice notes, saved TikTok drafts, and over 200 private videos in one clip. Recorded 2 days before the shooting, he stared into the camera and said, "They'll see what she did. They'll all see." Metadata confirmed he uploaded it to a private folder, but never published it. That file -vid-20211019.mov became central to the prosecution's case. Digital analysts also found an editing project titled LastLaugh.mp4, containing spliced arguments and sound effects, a grim mirror of his public persona. When shown his own footage, Ali covered his face and whispered, "I didn't think anyone would see this part." But they did, because for the first time in history, an entire relationship existed as a collection of files, a marriage turned into metadata, and grief into evidence. When the trial opened in San Diego in 2023, the courtroom filled with both journalists and fans. Some had followed him since his comedy sketches. Others were drawn by the headline, "TikTok star accused of double murder." Prosecutors presented a clear timeline: the secret recording, the drive to the apartment, the shooting, the phone confession. But what stunned observers wasn't just the evidence, it was the footage. Clips from his TikTok drafts were played in court, upbeat music, bright filters, and him smiling only hours before the killings. One juror later told reporters, "It was like watching two different people share one face." Defense attorneys argued mental deterioration, claiming social media addiction had blurred his sense of reality. They described a man living in an echo chamber of validation, where every gesture became content and every silence became threat. But the prosecution countered with digital precision, timestamps, deleted files, and his own words. When the judge announced the guilty verdict on both counts of first-degree murder, Ali Abulaban showed no visible emotion. Outside, hundreds of comments appeared online within minutes. Hashtags, duets, conspiracy videos, reaction edits. The same algorithm that once made him famous was now archiving his downfall in real time. Reporters noted how surreal it felt. The courtroom verdict streaming across the same platform that had fueled his fame. His life had begun as a comedy feed and ended as a case study in how performance and reality can merge until both collapse. Even after his conviction, Ali Abulaban's digital presence didn't disappear. TikTok removed his verified account, but archived clips continued to circulate across fan pages and reaction edits. Within weeks, hashtags using his name generated millions of views, half condemning, half curious. It wasn't loyalty. It was fascination. On YouTube, creators analyzed his videos frame by frame, searching for warning signs. Commenters claimed they'd seen the darkness long before the crime, in a look, a tone, a pause between jokes. But none of those clues existed until after the story ended. It was retroactive prophecy, tragedy rewritten as content. Digital forensics units noticed something else. The algorithm still recommended his videos under unrelated searches, cached from reposts. It was proof that deletion on the internet isn't erasure, it's dilution. Pieces scatter, but they remain searchable. In 2024, San Diego State University's Media Psychology Department included the case in a course on parasocial collapse. Students studied how viewers confuse digital intimacy with reality, and how platforms amplify emotion without context. The conclusion was simple but disturbing. Audiences don't just watch stories, they finish them. For Ana's family, every re-upload was another reopening of wounds. They petitioned to have compilations removed, but new ones appeared daily. Even silence became engagement. A digital rights advocate later said, "The internet never punishes, it only preserves." The line now appears in several documentaries about social media crime, and somewhere in that archive between filters and captions, the echo of performance still loops, a reminder that online fame doesn't end. It just changes tone. In 2025, the name Ali Abulaban still circulates online, not as a creator, but as a caution. His case sits at the intersection of two eras, the age of content and the cost of confession. Every social media platform has since strengthened its response protocols for violent crime cases. TikTok now flags accounts linked to ongoing investigations. YouTube embeds direct-to-court records when names trend after an arrest. It's policy born from tragedy, proof that even algorithms can learn fear in classrooms and media studies programs. His trial is now a reference point. Students analyze the transition from performance to pathology, studying how validation can disguise obsession. Professors call it the parasocial collapse, when the screen stops separating the audience from the subject. The Abulaban story continues to echo because it never relied on myth. It was public from the start, a digital diary played out for millions, archived by servers and dissected by strangers. There were no hidden tapes, no missing files, only the recordings he chose to share. That's what makes it unforgettable. The crime was never off camera. In the San Diego apartment complex where it happened, the unit has long been leased to new tenants. Neighbors say they don't think about it anymore, but the building's view still faces the same skyline he once filmed in the background of his skits. The world kept scrolling, but buried in those old videos are fragments of truth, moments of tension between the jokes. And maybe that's the hardest lesson for a digital age built on attention, that the distance between entertainment and evidence is sometimes only a single post. If you thought the horror ended here, you're wrong. What other dark rituals and forbidden practices are still being performed in secret? Dive deeper into the chilling world of haunted ceremonies, banned footage, and eerie folklore that refuses to stay buried. Click on the playlist to uncover terrifying recordings, lost evidence, and disturbing stories they never wanted you to see. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for weekly uploads of spine-tingling footage and dark tales that echo from the shadows. This is the Forbidden's Archive, where the hidden truth and haunting evidence come to life.